Minnesota Fighting Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer enters the 2021 season on the hot seat. El Cito es muy caliente. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. Yeah, and yes, Mike Zimmer is a good head coach, but as we say on here a lot, do not let good be the enemy of great. Do you envision him being a guy as a head coach who's going to lead this team to a dozen Jerome Bardys? Or, 9-7, 10-6 if everything goes well. There's too much talent on this team. This team is ready to win right now. And so this offseason, last offseason, the Vikings gave Zim a lucrative 3-year extension, matching up with the GM Rick Spielman, as well as, Kirk Cousins got a 2-year extension too. They trusted him to guide this team as Rick Spielman tried to reboot on the fly, purging veterans, 15 draft picks, and yeah. A 1-5 start, absolute clown shoes. They did rally to finish 7-9, but it was the offense which was carrying the team. Zimmer's defense had basically nothing to do with it. In fact, they were the Achilles heel all season along with special teams. The defense was 29th in points allowed at 475. They're 27th in yards allowed in 62-92. And his preseason boast of, I've never had a bad defense. Not so much. Liar. And yes, young team, no rookie camp, no OTAs, limited training camp, no preseason, the Rona, but all teams had to operate under those parameters. Now, impacted the Vikings more because it was a young team, a lot of turnover. I get it, but yeah. And frankly, I think what ultimately saved his job is because the Wilfs do want continuity and also that massive extension, because you'd have to pay a coach 3 years on his deal and his staff in all likelihood, and then bring in a new head coach. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of dough. I mean, and with the financial impact of the coronavirus on the 2020 NFL season, maybe the Wilfs were like, let's see what Zim can do in 2021. We'll give you a mulligan here, man. But entering next season, Zimmer is on the hottest seat in the NFL. He really is. And frankly, if the team has a similar 1-5 or 1-5 adjacent start, and his defense is a big reason why, he might be the first head coach fired next season. And if you can wager on that, put a couple of jelly beans on it, probably get decent odds, you should probably take it. And yes, Zimmer has led this team to 2 division crowns and 3 playoff appearances, NFC title game appearance in 2017. Would have liked to have a home Super Bowl, but yeah, we can't have nice things. But also, he hasn't made the playoffs in consecutive seasons, which comes down to consistency. And his precious defense was the reason why this team fell apart all season long. Plus special teams too. And have we seen any progression from him over 7 seasons being in charge, now going on 8? Has he evolved as a head coach? Has he gotten better as a manager of the clock and of the game? Or has he plateaued? Is this the best of Mike Zimmer? Have we seen the best? Well, he's better than Leslie Frazier in 2013. How long are we going to be giving him credit for things he did 7 years ago? He's like Imagine Dragons. And the NFL is always a what have you done for me lately league. What has he done lately? Well, 2020, not so much. But he's had 6 different OCs in 6 years. You hired him. You hired the offensive coordinators. You knew that Shermer was likely going to get a head coaching job a second time around if he did well. You knew that John DeFilippo was a chance. You knew that Kevin Stefanski was likely going to get a head coaching job if he did well. All right, so it's kind of on you. It's kind of on you always wanting to abdicate responsibility of the offense. Just like, you take care of it. You be the head coach of the offense. I'll head coach of the defense. Bye. All right. And also, he has to get the next OC hire right. I mean, is Clint Kubiak ready to rock and roll? He better be. And also, he's had the same quarterback for the last 3 years of Kirk Cousins. Early on, Teddy, then Bradford, then Keenum, and now Kirk Cousins. And Kirk has been a top 10 adjacent quarterback for the last 3 years. Debatably, but he is certainly good enough to win, and it's going to be on year 4 with Kirk Cousins, so there's continuity right there. And you made the playoffs with him once. And yes, you did win a playoff game with Kirk Cousins, which should frankly count double, but yeah. And also, hey, special teams sucked this year, but who hired Mauro Maloof 2 years ago? Who was that person who hired the special teams coordinator who oversaw one of the worst special teams unit in NFL history? And who was the guy who made the decision to keep trotting out Dan Bailey, even though he had zero confidence, goose egg D'Angelo Russell, just swinging the leg? Who was that guy, huh? Yeah. Additionally, how many times on a Sunday Have you just found yourself yelling at the TV when Zimmer bungles the clock management situation, or makes a horrific challenge that has zero chance of being overturned, or a dubious decision to go for it or not go for it, and just it's frustrating. It is. And the similar mistakes that we saw in 2016, in 2014, all the way back, he hasn't really progressed. He's really just been decent the whole time. And the Wilfs respect our patient owners. Again, I do respect that because continuity with the right people will build you a successful franchise. But what if you don't have the right people? Huh? Well, what if you don't? Like, 2021 is going to reveal a lot because this team is ready to rock and roll. They are ready to win. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. Another draft class, Daniil back from injury, plus Barr, maybe, Kendricks, Michael Pierce will actually be here. The team should bounce back, especially on defense, and the offense is still going to be humming. They can hang and bang and clang with anyone in this league. Bonafide superstars in Dalvin Cook and Justin friggin' Jefferson. The offense can consistently score 30 points a game if Cousins can be protected. And Zimmer, if you're such a defensive genius, 30 points a game, you should be able to win. But Zimmer, he's got to get it done in 2021. That's the mantra, man. Not just playoffs. Like, we're talking, got to win the division, playoff wins. I mean, might even need a Super Bowl appearance minimum to save his job. Because could you see a spot where the Vikings win the division, they win a playoff game, but they get shellacked in the NFC title game yet again, and then Ziggy's like, time to make a change. Time to make a change, right? Now, it's rare, but I think that Zimmer has been given a lot of leeway, a lot of time on scholarship, especially the 2020 season, and he's got to get it done. This team has to progress. They're too talented just to stagnate. Again, Zimmer is a good head coach, and I like him a lot as a dude, but don't be afraid to raise your expectations. I mean, Andy Reid and Ron Rivera are two of the best head coaches in the NFL, and they got fired because at a certain point in Philly and Carolina, respectively, the message got stale and they plateaued. Hell, Belichick got fired by Cleveland. Pete Carroll's been fired twice by New England and the Jets. So, yeah. Maybe it is time to move on if they can't get it done in 2021. Sometimes a new voice is needed. Vikings' job will be one of the most attractive if it does indeed come open in 2022. Brian Daboll, come on down. Lincoln Riley, come on down. Eric Bieniemy, come on down. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. So no more excuses. No more mulligans for Zimmer. Win or go home this season. That's it. Be your thoughts. Zimmer, hottest seat. Woo! Caliente. Head into 2021. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.